and preparing. I always love looking in the corner whenever it says, yeah, preparing, and you're live on Facebook. Hi, everybody. My name is Jeanette Martin. To those that are new to the MYBC Consulting Facebook page, and every Tuesday night, either 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I talk with authors. I talk books. I talk creativity and art and being the steward of other people's creativity and sharing it out with the world. Sometimes I do it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It depends the time zone of the people that I am talking to, because that's the cool thing is, Cheryl, I get to help people and share stories to the four corners of this round or square, no, the four corners of this round world. So good evening, everyone, for another edition of the MYBC Virtual Bookstore Author Series. And that's where I put authors in the box to the right of me, no, to the left of me on my screen right now. And we talk books, and we talk why people write books and how people write books. So first of all, let's go. Good evening, Cheryl Bishop. Where are you from? And let's give your bio that would normally be on the About the Author section on the back of the book.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeanette, first of all, for having me here. And hello to anyone and whoever is listening here. This is fun. I'm excited. I always have a good time with you, Jeanette. So it's always nice to be together.
Yes.
So I'm the founder of Resilient Women in Business, and I birthed that. Well, actually, it was birthed to me, really. I didn't come up with it. God gifted it to me. And for those of you listening, my language is God. If that's not yours, certainly shift it into whatever you need to. I'm certainly not here to judge you, so I'm trusting you're not going to judge me. So it really was a gift. And it launched April of 2018. And then it's just been booming in a sense of the lives that come across and the shifts and the relationships and the community. And oh my gosh, my heart just gets so full all the time.
That's how I met you.
Yes.
So about the author section of any book. So in my intro, I said 3-time author of a writing with others, as well as an ebook. So let's go to the collaboration. I think that's the common term that it's called out there when you are writing with somebody else. So what prompted that book to come into your life or come to into being?
Well, the first one is a beautiful lady who lives in Edmonton, and she had wrote a couple of books, and she met me, and she really wanted some magic in her book, is what she told me. She goes, Cheryl, I want to interview you, and I want to get some magic happening here. So she interviewed me, and basically through the whole interview, she created the story that she wanted to create. She sent it to me and make sure it was all good. And so she says, we'll collaborate on this. And I said, absolutely, whatever magic you need, take. And so she did that. And she's, I think, been an author like 4 or 5 times, maybe even 6 now. I don't know. I haven't seen her in such a long time. And the other one was with a company I used to be with to support business. And we had business students. So there was quite a few business students, and it was all about being a business owner, all the highs and the lows. It was
no, really?
Yeah,
there's highs and lows in business.
Yeah. So it was, and some of those stories, you would like tear up because you think, wow, if they can do it, I should be able to do it. So there were some great stories in there. And my chapter was called Everything Happens for a Reason, because I'm a firm believer that they do. They happen for us.
Yes, yes. The first book a little bit. What was the genre of the first book? So when you say magic, I'm thinking, oh, top hats and bunnies and, magic wands. So what was the genre or the subject matter of the first book?
Well, she wanted women in business to share their story, is basically what it was. So she would interview quite a few women in business and decide which stories that she really wanted in this particular book. So it was
okay.
It was
Ah,
a good book of different stories,
okay.
and her in her terminology, she wanted some magic in there. And so, meaning the magic could be you can turn a let's say a situation that didn't look very good into something that could be magical. In
Okay.
other words, life doesn't happen to us as we think, it happens for us. So there's some magic in there that of all the different ladies that were involved in that, they had different stories.
There seems to be some of these collaboration books, and I know they're more and more. I've interviewed a couple of people that have had their own book and then been part of collaboration, or that's where they started, is in collaboration books. That it's almost mirroring really how we, the word that comes to my mind right now, chunk out our life or live out our life. We live out our life in little stories, and we share when we get together with people. Can you imagine if Cheryl, when I met you and I told you my 57-year-old story, and you're just like, okay, Jeanette, where if I just share that little bits of who I am in the individual times that we get to meet in little bits, that truly is how you build interest and build. I feel like I'm tripping over my words, but we share little stories about ourselves in order to build relationship. Where if you knew my whole story, you might go, whoa, that's too big of, that's like War and Peace over here. Where in these collaboration books, it's an opportunity for us to share little bits, little stories that we can connect. And within the collaboration book, there's a story for everybody to align with. We were talking about something before we came on here, and you have to say it because I think it plays into now where my head is going when we were talking about bows and arrows and targets, is you're setting up. Okay, no, I'm gonna pause there. I know we're live. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a bit. We're gonna unpack this. Please explain to everybody what you were saying before we came on about
I will in a
life.
moment. So I do
Yeah.
want to go back to what you're saying, only because, first of all, being involved in a collaboration book is always a great place to start. Because
Ah,
when I first wrote a chapter, like a book sounds like, oh my gosh, how am I going to write a book? It's going to take so long to do. I don't even know where to start. When you start with only one chapter, it's simpler. And
mm,
then I know I can only speak for myself. When I did this, my confidence level got higher because I actually did it. 15,000 words didn't seem that difficult. Actually, no, it was 3,000. Mine was 3,000. I had to cut it down. I'm like, oh, I thought I had enough words, but I had too many. Right. So it's fascinating going through that process alone can gain so much confidence. And then you realize it's really not that difficult. So, and I think
mm.
that's a lot to do with life as well. Going back to what you and I were talking about before we went live, is so many people want to grab a bow and arrow and look at the target and aim, and they want to, eventually get right in the middle of that target. Well, if we reverse that and we go, I'm the target in life, I want certain arrows to come to me, it's a different outlook.
It truly is. And what you project off, we don't project off our whole life all together. We project off those little stories that somebody wants to target you to want to learn more. So that's the kind of analogy, or what kind of came to mind in these collaboration books, is that target, or even thinking when, oh, I want to write a book, and you're envisioning yourself at the top of the mountain going, oh, how am I going to get up there? But incrementally climb to the one summit, climbing to the next summit, climbing to the next summit, climbing to the next summit, and having people along with ropes and pulleys along the way to get you up there is pretty amazing when writing a collaboration book.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, fascinating. So the second book was all just like business stories of
Yeah.
great success.
Yeah.
I think I own that book. I
Yeah.
think you gave me that book.
Yeah.
What? No, you know what, Cheryl? I met you before Resilient Women in Business.
Yes, you did. That's right. You did.
Did, because I
Yes.
have that book. I know
Yes.
that book you're talking
Yes.
about. And I think you autographed that book.
I might have. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's too funny. It's amazing how life takes you here, takes you there. And yeah, absolutely. And what's great about collaborating books too, I know there's a couple of companies that do collaborating books on a regular basis with different topics. And what's great about that is we all do have a story. And that's why people
Mm.
write books, is they got something they want to share out in the world. Like, either it's my experience or it's my knowledge, and they want to share it with the world because they know how much of an impact this could serve others. So that's why, look at Jack Canfield with his Chicken Soup of the Soul series.
Yes.
That has shifted people's lives. And all these books that are out there that are either business books or personal growth books, all the different types, people often want to share either their knowledge or their story. And what's great about stories is that it gives other people hope.
Mm.
Right?
Vitamin Hope. I'm going to call that a vitamin hope
that.
between the pages of a book. You want some
Yeah.
hope? Go to the library.
Man,
That's where you're gonna find it. Yes.
You can
See,
have
that's
fun
why I
with
love
that.
these things. Like-minded people. I love hanging around with like-minded people and chatting. So let's fast forward to you gifted us a book. Cheryl Bishop was a speaker at the Gratitude and Appreciation Summit that I'm the creator and one of the co-founders with Kathy Fester, that happened on October the 3rd last year. Can you believe it? It was October the 3rd already last year. Where the heck? 2020, I don't know about you, Cheryl. 2020 kind of went and 2021 is like boom.
Yep.
Like June. It's like 2 weeks away, for heaven's sakes. Like
it's amazing. It's amazing how fast. Maybe I don't know why. Is it maybe we're anxious to get going? We're anxious to get into the new reality, whatever that's going to be. We're anxious to get back out there in the marketplace, or go to events or whatever it is, right? I don't know. Or we're all preparing for it, because that's what I'm doing right now. Is I'm preparing for when I get out there.
Or oh my gosh, we're the target. We're sitting back in our greatness and Zooms, and people are coming to us.
Yes.
Just thinking there for a second, because I've done some amazing networking and meeting people all over the world, and I basically just had to kind of sit here in my home kitchen and be the target of the person in the Zoom room to meet these people. So maybe that's why it's going so fast, is because people are like, oh, I want to meet you. I want to talk to you. I want to meet you. I want to talk to you.
And what a blessing to have a platform like Zoom. What a blessing. Yes.
Like huge.
Like we wouldn't have, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have Zoom, because I'm like many, need to connect.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So thankfully Zoom is here. I mean, I can't wait till we can get in person. I'm actually planning a Resilient Women conference. I got about another 2 hours and all the content will be done. The planning will almost be done. All I got to do is book the dates and then I'll market it. I can't wait.
Woohoo! So let's go back to your ebook that you offered as a gift for us for free. Is it still available for free?
Oh, yes. Of course.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a gift. So let's talk about your ebook. And what's the title of your ebook?
Well, the title is 5 Key Areas to Excel and Growth to Your Maximum Success in Your Business. So really, it's more, honestly, everything about business is psychology. Everything about business is psychology.
Really? Is it all up here?
Yeah, a lot of it's right there. So I go through the 5 key areas, which really are about your influence. How are you being influenced? I mean, look at you, Jeanette. If COVID didn't arrive here, you wouldn't have met all these people globally.
Right.
Like really, what a blessing. So it's how are we being influenced in our life, and whether it's influence on the television, news, influencing when a spouse comes home angry, are we going to get caught up in that? Are we going to be influenced by that? It's all influence. A friend or an event, we could get influenced by an event even. Right. And if we're focusing on the negative side of an event, that's not going to support us. Because I do believe things do happen for a reason. When we look at the blessings, are there things in our world that are devastating and that happened and it's heart-wrenching? Yes. But many times when people have experienced something to that degree down the road in their lives, many times they say, I'm grateful that happened, because if that didn't happen, look at Tony Robbins, prime example,
Yeah. Yeah.
how he grew up. Mother, not very nice. 4 fathers that he knows of for sure, right? Starving at Christmas one time when a church members wanted to drop food up and his father had too much of what's the word I'm looking for? Too much pride that he
Mm,
didn't want to accept the food. And he's like 8 years old going, like, oranges would be so awesome to have at Christmas time.
yeah.
And so he's thankful, not for the action his mother did, but he's thankful for the experience. Otherwise, he wouldn't be who he is today to help millions of people around the world.
Right. Right.
So that's what I mean by things that when he was little, could that have taken him down? Perhaps, but also that gave him the strength. I don't want anybody else to go what I've gone through.
Right.
So
Right.
it gives you strength. So the book's really all about your influence. And because often influence goes right into our thoughts, because we're thinking about it, good or bad, it'll go there. And whatever we're thinking goes into our feelings. In fact, often when somebody says to me, I'm just having a crappy day right now, or something's bothering me, it's like, well, what have you been thinking all morning?
Oh, interesting.
Because feelings only know to follow thought.
Say that one more time.
Feelings only know to follow thought. Whatever you're thinking is how you're going to feel.
So I think you coined the term in my world, stinking thinking. Did you coin that?
No, I didn't coin it. That's been around for a long time.
For some reason, I think I've heard you say that terminology before, but that makes so much sense now when you define those words. That's stinking thinking. That's what it means.
Yeah. There's thinking that it doesn't serve us. Like I have learned to know, I'm such a level person. I don't get upset. Rarely do I get upset. Like when, if you ever hear me swear, then you're like, whoa, that you just don't hear that. Right. You know,
Mhm.
I don't get upset. So because I've learned this for a long time that whatever I'm thinking, so I got to be careful on what I'm thinking because that influences myself. So
Okay.
the thoughts, I'm not good enough. What are we going to feel? I'm not good enough. I'm too shy. Well, what are we going to feel? I'm too shy. I can't do this. Well, that's what, you know, like it just keeps going and going and going. So whatever we think about, and even when we put it out in the universe, the law of attraction, I was just had a lady over for coffee in my backyard. Well, we didn't actually have coffee. We had water. She said, I don't drink caffeine. It's like, okay, what do you want? Tea, decaffeinated, and she did water. We had such a lovely time. And it was such an amazing, and a lot of that we were talking about. It's what we're thinking about can cause a lot of even health issues,
Mm.
right? If we keep, well, that's a whole nother topic. But for me, I had to learn to be very aware of my thought processing. So if I keep saying to myself, like a false belief often comes from our thinking. So my false belief of I wasn't smart enough exactly came from when I was thinking when I was 8 years old.
Mm.
And all that happened, I'll just share the quick story. All that happened. I was sitting at the kitchen table with my mom and dad. I'm coloring in my coloring book, minding my own business. My dad is writing a letter on the opposite end of the table, and my mom is behind him starting to prepare for dinner. My dad only went to grade 6. So he's writing a letter and he goes to my mom, May, which is her name. How do you spell car? Is it with an E or without an E? My mom goes, oh, Gordon, it's without an E. She chuckles and says, oh, Gordon, without an E. Nothing. But I'm thinking, wow, my dad doesn't know how to spell car. I am just like my dad. Kerplunk. I
Wow.
accepted a false belief that I wasn't smart enough. And it hung on for decades. So this is how critical our thought process is, that we got to be so, I always say it's our responsibility as a human being to protect ourselves and be aware of what we're thinking, because thinking goes into feelings, feelings go into actions, and actions ultimately give our results.
So this is profound, amazing. So in your ebook, you cover this. I almost liken this thought process to when somebody is looking at, the self-help section of the spirituality, or heavens to Betsy, just any books, and that you are, oh, I can't read that book. That book's not going to interest me. Or the old judge a book by its cover, versus it could be the best darn reading book or time. So that is being able to say, oh, you know what? I'm not going to read that book, or no, that book's not going to serve me. Or even picking up a book that's a genre that you normally don't read, is going, no, that. So that thought process, as well as I find a lot of people when I talk about books going, oh no, it's almost selfish that you want to tuck yourself in the corner for an hour and read a book. No, I could do it like 1,000 other things than just, I could go clean my closet or do some laundry or do whatever, but to sit in the corner, or not in the corner, but sit on a comfy couch with a nice little cup of tea. Oh, Jeanette, you spend like an hour or maybe 2 hours a day reading a book. Like in the morning, I'll read a book, and in the evening, I'll read a book. Like, wow, that's such a luxury. And it's like, wow. So think of the thought process of that as well. Of that stinking thinking in my world is some of the things that I've been able to learn from reading a book, and even fiction. Some of the authors that I've interviewed, fiction as well, I've learned because the author wanted to make sure it was period correct, or setting correct, or area or scenery correct. It's like, wow, I've been to places in books that I would never in a million years thought in my real life I could ever go.
Right. Jeanette, I'm with you. I get it. See, I've been on both sides of the coin, let's say. When I was younger, because I had this false belief I wasn't smart enough, I did not like to read books, because my thinking started going, you're not smart enough. There's too many big words in those books, and on and on and on it went. I had a best friend in grade 10. She was like smart cookie. And she loved books. She was a bookworm, basically. She loved books. So every time we went to the mall, she would go into, was it Bond Books? Black Bond Books, I think.
Yep.
And I wouldn't even walk into the bookstore, because it was like, for me, I'm not reading no stupid book. Like, that's the mindset I had back then. What I've realized is those things that it was attached to my false belief I'm not smart enough. And it was like, that's ridiculous. I actually had to go through a personal growth seminar in 2004 when I saw the movie play in my mind's eye of the moment I accepted I wasn't smart enough. So then I had to learn to let it go and unravel it. And poof, it took time. That's what false beliefs, depends on how long we've hung on to them for as well, right? It's like a muscle. If we've been practicing it for a long time, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Now we've got to make another muscle stronger. I knew that was not true. And and now books, I what's amazing is books are part of my whole programs that I do. And I would have never, if somebody told me that in grade 10, oh yes, you're going to build a business and you're going to have women read books as part of a program, I'd be like, are you nuts? But you're right, Jeanette, the amount of information you learn from books is phenomenal.
I have a question for you as we kind of wrap up here. I have two more questions. The first question I want to know are you a marker-upper in a book?
Oh, I don't know. Some people don't like that. Yes.
No, I'm just,
I am.
No judgment, but do you like to mark or like take a highlighter or post a note or something like that?
Well, yes. I like to pencil it. I like to.
You're on Team Jeanette then.
Yeah, I like to pencil in. I like to pencil it so that if I want to quickly review, I pick out the highlights that I've underlined that I go, this is good. Because it's always good to review.
Right.
So I review what I've underlined.
You know what one of the greatest gifts that I've ever gotten? I like taking my leftover books where I've got my lesson and say written out some things in a journal, and to the little houses that you find, the little libraries in cities. Well, I have one in by the farm area that I live in. And I recently got a book from there, and they had highlighted it. They had marked it up. And immediately when I was looking through it, I would to read somebody else's take or perspective on this book. It was like, oh, I'm going to like this book because somebody got into it just like I got it, how I get into books. So it was really refreshing. So I'm glad you're team Jeanette.
Yeah.
So to wrap this up is, what would you say to someone who wants to write a book, say a 3-step process, like your ebook? What was your kind of 3-step process, if you could break it down?
Yeah, well, what I would suggest is start with topics, like almost go to the what chapters you want to write about. So
Okay.
just lay out, okay, let's say you were doing somebody's life, like say it's a life story. So then you would want to share where you were born, like sort of the intro would be the first, obviously. And then you would want to get into, okay, what message are you wanting to relay in this book? Maybe there's a whole bunch of, maybe in this circumstance, there was a whole bunch of circumstances that happened. So what were the circumstances from 0 to 10 age? That could be a chapter. What are the circumstances that happen from 10 to 15? That could be another chapter, and keep going, so that there is kind of a layout. And then sometimes once you got that down, it doesn't seem so, like you said earlier, climbing a mountain. Well, when we take one step at a time, one chapter at a time, we can always move the chapters around. It's just getting it on paper. That's the first thing, getting it on paper, a Word document, or a spreadsheet, something. And so that's where I would start. Like, I know that in my language, God wants me to write a book, but what's really funny is I had the latest dream was, it's not to be a book. It's supposed to be a video book. And I thought, well, that's really interesting.
Which last is now multiple question, but I think I've got my answer. Hardcover book or softcover book, ebook or audiobook? Rank them in order of how Cheryl likes to enjoy books.
Hardcover book, softcover book. Like, I like it in my hand. Then audio and ebook.
Okay. Well, and you heard it here first, people. I think we have the birth of the video book being announced on the MYBC virtual bookstore. So with that, I think that is a perfect place to leave this little chat about authors at the the MYBC virtual bookstore authors series. Because I think Cheryl's got to go invent a platform for video books to be delivered. And I love that, because when I think about listening to audiobooks, it feels like that warm hug as you're listening to an audiobook to kind of put you to sleep. That I can just imagine Cheryl reading a book to me on my tablet as I'm either got it over here learning if it's a business type book or inspirational book, or maybe it's a bedtime story book, and I hear your beautiful voice and see your face as you're tucking me in for the night. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there, Cheryl.
Yes. Put it out. Love it.
So thank you so much, Cheryl, for your time tonight and sharing all your beautifulness with us about being an author and writing books and stories. And we'll make sure in the comment box below, if you had any comments, questions, throw it in the comment box. I like having this between the author and myself as we build relationship based upon creativity. And I am so grateful that I get to be the steward of your creativity and making sure that people know who you are out there. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Jeanette. It was such a pleasure. Such a pleasure.
Goodbye, everybody. See you again next Tuesday, 7 p.m. for another virtual author series. Oh, and Cheryl, I'm booked up till August now with different authors. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Okay, guys, go grab a book, grab some tea, and snuggle in for at least 30 minutes a day. It's going to change your life when you pick up a book. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.